Hi there, it's Sam from Pootles.co.uk. Thank you very much for joining me today. Today's project is a stylish, simple fold flat box. So let me slide off these ribbons. It's the new beautiful seam binding ribbon. And when you open it, you will see it is a fold flat box. And okay, maybe I have stuck the lid down permanently, but that's just so it doesn't gape. But you can make a plentiful supply of these in advance, fold them all flat for storage, and job done. So, first thing you need to do, you need a piece of cardstock that is 8 1/8 of an inch by 11 inches. For those of you who like to work in imperial. Those who like to work in metric, to make life easier, you need your piece of cardstock to be 20 centimetres by 28. And then you need to stamp it first, which is exactly what I didn't do in the previous version of trying to film this video. So I'm refilming. Okay. Flowering Flourishes. This is the stamp set I've used. Now on the original one I used this pattern, and I'm going to use this one this time, and I just sort of want the watermark effect. So with this being cherry cobbler ink, it's not, it's cherry cobbler cardstock, I have got cherry cobbler ink. Move everything out of the way so I can stamp quite happily. And you just stamp anywhere you fancy. And in my office right now, for some reason the Xbox behind me has just started up whirring, so if you can hear it, it's not an aeroplane taking off, it is my son's Xbox. I don't know why it's just done that. Seriously, it's whirring away like a crazy thing. Right, let's keep stamping. Oh, I think this is going to be very elegant when it's done. Nothing like not practicing a video before you, or practicing a project before you film the video. I rather like that. That's quite nice actually. Oh, very good. Right. Do you know what? I'm going to remove this piece of grid paper because it'll hurt my head. There we go. Gone. Okay. Scoring tool. Need that. The stylus might be useful. There we go. So with the long side at the top, so this is your 11-inch side, the 28 centimetre side, you score it at 1 5/8 of an inch and at 9 3/8 of an inch, which is 4 and 24 centimetres, and then turn it round and you score again at 1 5/8, and then at 3 1/4, 4 7/8, and at 6 1/2 inches, which is 4, 8, 12, 16 centimetres. So essentially the box is 1 5/8 of an inch deep that way and that way, or 4 centimetres that way and that way. And in metric, what is it in metric, in imperial? 7 1/4 inches and 16 centimetres, I think. Good size though, whatever size it is. Right. Fold all your score lines and burnish them well, because this is a cardstock box. Okie dokie. Right, there are 2 cuts we need to make, just 2, not very many. And when you hold your cardstock in the portrait way, the vertical way, you'll see that there are 4 score lines. 1, 2, 3, 4. Choose the second from either the left or the right, it doesn't matter, but whichever one you choose to cut down, you need to do the opposite one. So that means I need to do that one there, because that is separating the lid. This section here is now the lid, this is now the base. Okay, got that? Good. Right, I'm going to grab my piercing mat because we want to put in some extra score lines. So you need a ruler. I've got my steel rule, which is my metric and imperial. And where you score, let me turn it this way, is on the section that's the bottom. These 4 outer corners, you need to score your lines so they're pointing in to the middle, like that, where my fingers are going. So grab your ruler and a stylus, and you know, I could go straight onto the grid paper if I wanted, but I have this, so I'm going to use it. And you just gently score. So that one, as you can see, pointing into the middle. The same here. Again, pointing into the middle. Do these ones. So those 4 all point into the middle. Now this section that's the top we want that pointing into the middle as well. So again, corner to corner, pointing into the middle. And if I remove that out of the way and all of that, you will see that all of these score lines are all pointing down. And basically now you come and push them the opposite way. So you can see it's beginning to form the shape of the box. And you can do this with paper. I have made fold flat boxes before with paper, and you don't need to do the score lines, you just manipulate with your fingers. But definitely when you're working with cardstock, because you don't want it to crack or buckle or anything like that, you know, spend the extra minute or so to put in those score lines. So that is all of them done. So you can see that it's beginning to form together. What I'm going to do now is put my adhesive on, and you want to put it, if you look at if you can see that these are triangles, 1, 2, 3 face the middle on both sides. That's where you want to put your adhesive. So I'm going to use some snail for speedy purposes, but I would suggest Tombow. So all those ones, if I tip it so they shine in the light, those triangles all face the middle. So you fold over, and the same over here. Again, there's 3 that meet the middle. And again, fold over, and that is at the point that you store it. So you can see that the box will fold up, and this will fold out, and that is your box made. But as you can see, these parts gape, which is just not attractive, which is where, at the point you want to fill it and gift it to somebody, you come along and put some adhesive in this top corner, and make it a permanent side. And obviously you can do the same here if you want to. You don't have to leave it as a fold flat. You could put permanent adhesive and then it will close and look like that. But the choice is yours. I kind of like leaving that the bottom collapses down. I think it's a bit of fun, really. So that's the box closed. I'm going to do the little bit of stamping and then I'm going to show you how to put it all together, because my little decoration is attached to this, so I want to show you how to make it. But it's the tiniest, weeniest little bit of stamping going on. I've got some more cherry cobbler. I've got Very Vanilla this time, and I've got the same Dazzling Diamonds glimmer paper. I've got over here Petite Petals, and again my cherry cobbler ink. Stamp down and punch it out. Oh, I forgot to get my sponge out. That was daft, wasn't it? Let's grab my sponge. There we go. Sponge in that, because I just want to, I want to take the edges down a little bit. It's a bit too vanilla for me. And lift that up with the back of my paper piercer, and then I've got a candy dot, a matching candy dot here in the cherry cobbler that I can pop in the centre. And now it's just a case of punching and layering. So the larger punch that I'm using is the 1 3/4 inch scallop circle. So I'm going to have one of those in the glimmer paper. The next size down is the 1 3/8 circle. And I'm going to have that one in cherry cobbler. And then the third one is, oh, if I can pick it up, the 1 1/4 inch scallop. Another one of those in the cherry, it's not the cherry cobbler, I can't speak, in the glimmer paper. And I'm going to lift all of them up on dimensionals. So, easiest to do the top layers first. I hope you can't hear Jack. If you can, he's playing Xbox next door. He's talking to a friend, I think. The only one in the house at the moment. My husband has taken, well, he's taken 2 out. One has gone to a friend's house. He's got the 2 little ones, and Jack is here assuring me that he wouldn't bellow and yell loudly while playing the Xbox. I suspect he's forgotten that promise. Okay, 2 lots of seam binding ribbon. Cherry cobbler, brand new one, and Very Vanilla, which is one we've had, I believe we've had this one for a while. So I'm going to grab 2 lengths And actually I'm just going to pull a load off and bung it over to one side, lay them down but offset them slightly. And it's not too scientific, it doesn't really matter if it's not a perfect, you know, if they're not perfectly lined up, but you just want to get them roughly lined up. Okay, I'm just making sure I've got everything the same level of tightness. Taut? Yeah, taut. Tie a knot in those, and I am, you know, I'm knot and bow challenged at the best of times, but doing it with two pieces just, oh, it's like the Krypton factor. That was a TV show for anybody who doesn't remember or doesn't know. There we go, trim those bits off. And I didn't do that very well. We'll pretend it looks gorgeous. Let's turn that over. And just separate it so that the two different colours show through. And I'll sort that bit out in a minute for the photos. And then glue dots, because I really helpfully, that was daft, I put a dimensional on the back. It was glue dots is what I need. Now I just want to have a little layer, but I want them to go on this bit. And the reason I'm using glue dots is that A, I can manipulate them where I want them to go. They're stronger than snail, they're better than dimensionals, which would lift up too much, and Tombow would soak in and not dry fast enough. And besides, I love glue dots anyway. They are marvellous things. And then you just position your top where you fancy, and that, when I adjust that ribbon, is my simple, slender, elegant box that happens to fold flat in advance before packaging with goodies. And there we go, that will go on, and that one will go back on as well. Well, if you don't get your thumb tangled in it. There we go. And those are my pretty boxes. And I really like them. Anyway, thank you very much for joining me, and I hope to speak to you soon. Bye.